Hi, we're Cloud Red. We're here with our Sisters in Christ guest picks. Very excited.
Woo. I'm Madison.
Oh, shit. Hi, I'm Rourke.
I'm Brandon.
Now what?
Okay. So I picked the Killed by Deathrock comp, volume 2. The first one is my favorite, definitely, but this record is incredible as well. I love it because Flowers for Agatha is on here, and The Freedom Curse is one of my favorite songs of all time. I can listen to it over and over and over again. The next thing I picked was this AQUARIUM tape. They're a band from Minneapolis. My other band, Immaculate Conception, played with them in Detroit at the Precinct, and they totally blew my mind. My friend sings, and well, they all became my friend after we played together, and we stayed up late eating falafel and having a wonderful time, but they're a great band. I don't think they play together anymore, which sucks, but I highly recommend the LP as well, but this tape kicks ass. The next thing is a classic record, is Forever Now by the Psychedelic Furs. Usually you can find it for $1 at any record store you go to.
It's very expensive here, though.
But it's very expensive here. The song Sleep Comes Down is one of my favorite ones of all time as well. And I'm not sure if this is the record that has a really incredible poster that comes out, like folds out. But yeah, this is a fantastic classic record. The next thing I have is Broken Water, Whet. I got this record probably about 8 years ago on tour when we were out in like the Northwest, which is where I believe they're from. And this record I have listened to more times than I can count. It is, every single song on it is just mind-blowingly beautiful, and it's super easy to listen to, and it's a record that I flip back and forth and I can just keep listening to forever and ever. It's amazing. I say a lot. Sorry. The next one is a classic comp. It's the Give Me Back comp. I'm a huge fan of Spit Boy, and growing up, when I first got into punk, this is one of the first records I really loved, and was like a good introduction to all these really incredible bands that had women in them, that were talking about things that were super important to me. And yeah, it set everything on fire when I got this record. So this is a good one. The next one I picked, because I picked a lot of them, is 11 Pond. This is an incredible record. Another kind of like synth goth band that I listen to a lot. The song Turn to Silence is my choice song if you're going to listen to one off this record. Watching Trees is really good, but Turn to Silence is amazing. And because I said so many. The next one is the MERKIT Hombrinoous Dudes split. When Cloud Rat first started, some of our biggest supporters and friends, and still are some of our best friends, are MERKIT. I played in a house show with them in like 2010, and it is still today my favorite show that I've ever played. They're insane live, and these songs are super fucking fast and furious and so good. And Hombrinoous Dudes are from Grand Rapids in Michigan.
Woohoo!
Killer grind. Yeah, this is all around like a wonderful record. Then I have the Miko 7-inch. Miko was one of my favorite bands in high school, and I actually made, the singer used to like sing with a telephone microphone that she made herself, and after I saw that, I had to learn how to make one. So I looked it up online, and I totally somehow managed to make a telephone microphone that I wish I still had. But this is another record that I can listen to over and over again. All of their stuff is great, and I wish they were still a band. But I have like fond memories of riding my bike and listening to this in high school and being stoked. And the very last one is one of my favorite 7-inches of all time, and it's the SFN Itching EP, and it's amazing. I got this when we played in Wisconsin at the Dust Bowl.
Yeah, Madison, Wisconsin.
In Madison, Wisconsin at the Dust Bowl. It was
Gnarly.
crazy. It was a gnarly show. We played in the bowl of a skate park, like a DIY skate park, and there were like 14-year-olds lighting off mortars in the sewers, and it was getting out of control. But I remember getting this record, and it's still today probably top 5 favorite 7 inches that I own. It's incredible. So yeah, I'm done.
Right.
Fucking hell, Mike.
Oh.
That's a lot of shit. No.
I know. I'm sorry. There's a lot of good stuff here.
There's so many good things.
We should just had you do it. You're way better.
There's so many good things.
I like music.
I guess I'll go. So the first one is Undergang. I'm probably saying that wrong. Or Undergang from Denmark, from Copenhagen. They're an insanely grotesque, brutal death metal band that I would kind of probably describe somewhere along the lines of like if Mortician didn't have horror movie samples and actual drums, and it's just there's a grotesque like shotgun suicide beer drinking zombie guy on the front, and completely fantastic. Mandatory in every collection. Second, Terror Cell Units. God took everything away from us, and now we will take everything from you. They're a power electronics duo from, dear God, Oakland, California, featuring Kufar, who used to be in the Chicago area, played a lot of shows with Mac and that crew, and Sam, who also does some really cool stuff. They're all modular now, so they use a lot of modular synthesis and very weird, obscure techniques. Very heavy record, very scary, brutal. And then Gling-Gló from Iceland, featuring the fabulous and ever essential goddess known as BJORK. This is like kind of like a really cool jazz trio. Kind of outside of the box from what she was doing in the early 90s, but still in that same vein of BJORK wonderfulness, and is super great. I wish there were more recordings of the group, but this is a must-have, especially if you're a BJORK fan. And plus, we're on tour with Kayla and Mika, and they're from Iceland, so woo! Iceland, man. And then Black MECHA, they're from, this is actually half of a weird Canadian, obscure kind of industrial black metal group called Wold. This is half of that group. I can't remember the dude's name, but he kind of just does like real stripped down, weird, minimal industrial electronics. It's very stark and blackened and terrifying. Very good. Next, Steve HAUSHILDT, another title I can't pronounce, Dissolvi. That's his new one on Ghostly Records, which is actually a Michigan label. And he played in the band Emeralds and does like a lot of like arpeggiating, bubbling sort of like German Komisch music, like krautrock stuff. Works with like a lot of analog and modular synthesizers as well. Really pretty if you like cluster and things of that nature. And the last one, MERZBOW from Japan. Brutal, unrelenting Japanese harsh noise. I think this is from his later period. It's on Cold Spring Records, which is an awesome UK label, but super fantastic. I generally have this rule if I see a MERZBOW record to just buy it because he has like something like 600 releases. So I mean, what's another one to the 80 I already own? Because you have to have more harsh noise in your life. So those are my picks. Shoppe Sisters in Christ. Great record store.
Oh. I have RUTH Rundle's Some Heavy Ocean. We were fortunate enough to get to play with her earlier this year a couple times, and it was wonderful. This record is incredible. Highly recommended. I have MOLOCH, A Bad Place, some other friends of ours from the UK. We've toured with them a bunch. They are punishing, heavy, and so sad. I mean, look at this bullshit. Highly recommended. Then I have Opion Courses. We were also fortunate enough to get to play with her a few years back. Unfortunately, Genevieve passed away. But this record is soul-tearing. Just all of her records. Really, I recommend it. And then, hopefully someday, we get to play with the Queen and become friends with her. ROBYN. Mm-hmm. Speaks for itself. Best record of the last decade.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Thanks, Sisters in Christ.
Thank you. Thanks, Brian.
Oh, thanks.
Now you got to put all these away.